This is a microphone check. Can you hear me? Check, check, 1, 2, 3. Please type in the chat room if you can hear my voice. Can you hear me? Maybe? Yes? No? Hello, can everybody hear me? Oh yes, good. HJ said yes. Awesome. Good, 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 good. So this is our last Saturday class for a while. For a few weeks, we're not going to have Saturday class again. Of course, next week is Chuseok, and then we're getting close to midterm exams. So this is the last one for a few weeks. So let's try to make use of it. Let's try to enjoy it. Now, before I start, I want to say something before I completely forget about it, because I forgot to mention this last week. If you are a student at CUFS, if you're a student at Sa이버한국외국어대학교 University, you may contact the English department and ask to sign up for Phone English. What is Phone English? Phone English is an activity, a service that we provide for free to students in our English department, that if you sign up, either myself or Professor Brandon Nolan or Professor Cassandra Nikiforak will call you twice for 2 weeks. We'll call you once 1 week and another time another week, and talk about different topics. We have different topics every week that we talk about. It's just a 15-minute conversation, but it gives you a great chance to practice your listening and speaking skills. So if you're interested in that, please, please contact the English department. But again, this is only for students of CUFS. If you're watching this and you're not one of our students, maybe consider joining our school. Okay, so today, what are we talking about? Today, we are talking about feeling stressed. And I don't know about you, but my goodness, I am feeling very stressed nowadays. Coronavirus has made everything more difficult for everybody. And for me, it means being at home all the time, trying to do work like I am right now in our extra bedroom, while my kids are outside in the living room trying to be quiet. It makes a stressful situation, but we're trying to be okay. We're really, really trying to make it through this difficult time. So what I want to ask you is a few questions before we really jump into the vocabulary we're going to look at. We're going to look at vocabulary we use to show that we're stressed. We are also going to briefly look at the articles a, an, and the. So we'll look at that later. But first, I want to ask you, what makes you most stressed? What makes you really, really stressed? For me, I feel really, really stressed when I have work that I need to do. I have work that has a deadline, like maybe I need to finish this project before tomorrow morning, but I have no time because my kids are going crazy or my kids refuse to sleep. They don't want to go to sleep at night. I can feel my heart exploding because I'm so stressed because I know I need to get work done, but I don't have time to do it. That's something that really makes me stressed, especially nowadays. So I'm curious, what makes you most stressed nowadays? If you can type in the live chat, tell me what makes you feel stressed nowadays. Okay, HJ has also said, me too. I don't have time. Yeah, I think maybe I'm being presumptuous, maybe I'm presuming here, but I think that young single people have more time now that coronavirus is here. They have time at home to do things, but with kindergartens and orenijip closed, it makes it very difficult for people with young children to have any kind of time. Yeah, HJ said, I don't have time because I take care of children all day. You and me both. We're in the same boat, yes. Unju Shin said, weight makes you stressed. Yeah, weight, people can feel very stressed about weight, especially, again, because of coronavirus. It's more difficult to be motivated to exercise when you feel like going to the gym is a risk because you don't want to go outside, you don't want to go around a lot of people, so you stay home and you end up eating too many snacks. I know that's what I do. Anybody else, what makes you most stressed? Wait for a few more comments before we jump into the next question. So far we have people don't have time, people worry about weight. Does anything else make you stressed? I know that my wife gets stressed when she's driving and there's bad drivers on the road who don't pay attention to her or just drive recklessly or dangerously. It makes her quite stressed. Park Hyojung has just said that I get stressed out when my husband comes home late. Yeah, that would make anybody stressed, I think, when your partner comes home late. It can be very difficult, especially if they were supposed to come home at an earlier time or if you have kids at home. Oh my goodness, that makes people quite stressed. Okay, if you want to add some more comments, I will read them in a moment, but also let's jump to the next question. And that is your job very stressful? For me, my job is not too stressful now. I'm actually very fortunate. I feel very lucky that I work for a cyber university because the coronavirus is not affecting me too much. I'm able to do all of my work almost completely from home. It is stressful to try to do work at home because of my children, but I mean, my job is okay. It's not that bad. It's great, actually. They're being very flexible with our hours, being very flexible with us working from home, encouraging us to work from home so that we don't go to the office and possibly spread the virus. So everyone's being very cautious and very understanding, which is awesome. It's one of the best working environments I've ever had, honestly. Yeah, so that's my job is great right now. I'm very lucky to be part of a cyber university during a difficult time like this. Let's see, Eunice J said, skin trouble. I've been wearing a mask for a long time. I'm assuming you mean like pimples or zits. Right now my face is pretty good. I think I have a spot like right here maybe. But the reason I try to grow at least a little bit of a beard is not because I have skin problems now, but because I had such terrible skin problems when I was a late teenager, like 18, 19, 20, 21. I had terrible skin problems and it's scarred my face. I have scars on my face from the skin problems. So growing a beard helps hide that a little bit, but I understand the skin problems. People who've never had them. For example, I have a brother who has never had skin problems, and I hate him for that because he's always had perfect, magical skin. They just can't understand what it's like for people who've had skin problems. It's very stressful. Let's see. Myung-suk Kim says, if someone doesn't understand me, it makes me stressed. Of course, if people don't understand your emotions or don't understand what you're trying to say, it can make you very stressed. And Lee Chu-bu says, I feel stressed because my eyes are getting worse. I wonder, do you mean your eyesight is getting worse? Maybe? I'm not sure. But yeah, as we grow older, our eyes definitely are not quite what they used to be. And Che Sunwa says, the most stressful thing for me is that I feel uneasy about meeting people. My children couldn't go to school these days. Yeah, our household, my family here, we are very, very super crazy, amazingly cautious. We're very careful. We rarely go outside. Sadly, we rarely take our children out just because we're trying to be super careful about the virus. And Unjun Shin says, I am a student, but this week there were so many exams. So yeah, exams can make you stressed, of course. So even if you don't have a job and you're just a student, maybe being a student, maybe a particular class is very stressful. Maybe just one of your classes is super difficult. Okay, next question is, what was the most stressful time in your life? What was the most stressful time in your life? I can answer this very easily. The most stressful time in my life, I was about 22 or 23. I was in Korea for a job, and it was the most insanely difficult job I've ever done in my life, and I have never been that stressed. I had panic attacks every day. Basically, I was teaching at a TOEFL prep academy in Gangnam, and I was working crazy hours. I am not exaggerating. I taught 6 or 8 hours every day, Monday through Friday. On Saturdays, I literally taught 10 hours without a break. And on Sundays, I taught 4 hours. And when I wasn't teaching, I had to grade exams and prepare lessons. I think I was sleeping 2 hours a night. I wasn't having any fun. I wasn't going out. I didn't have time to meet anyone. I barely had time to eat. I was making lots of money, but I was dying from stress. I only lasted 4 months at that job. It's one of the only jobs I've ever quit before my contract was finished. It's the only one I've ever quit before my contract was finished because I could not keep up with the work. It was unbelievable. I have never been that stressed. Let's go back to some of these comments. Let's see. Park Hyo-jung says, now I'm free, so I don't need to get stressed anymore due to my job. That's awesome. If you don't, yeah, not having a job is very stress-free. But then sometimes if you don't have a job, you worry about money. There's always stress somewhere. You're always going to be stressed about something, I think. If you're not stressed about something, you worry. Shouldn't I be stressed about something? What? Shouldn't I be worrying about something? And Myung-suk Kim says, if someone doesn't or if some don't, I'm not sure what that was commenting about. Both are fine, maybe the grammar. If someone doesn't or if some don't, both are fine. Eunice J says, and I have more work to do because I have more online work, so a little more stressed. Yeah, if you have more online work, it can be a little bit stressful because we're at home, but we can't escape work. We can't escape texts from our boss or emails from the company. Even though you're at home, you're never really free. Yeah, great. Anyone else have a most stressful time in your life? Maybe a long time ago when you were younger, or recently even, you experienced the most stress in your life? Anyone? I will keep looking for comments. I don't want to just sit here and wait for comments to come in because I think there's a little bit of a delay with the video and the comments. So I'll go back and read those comments in a minute. But let's look at some phrases and vocabulary we can use to show that we're stressed. So let's jump into that. Oh, first, I always forget this. First. I want to look at a quotation about stress. And Hans Sale said, "It is not stress that kills us. It's our reaction to it." Yeah, so let me know what you think this means in the comments. I think that this means that people react differently to stress. I'm going to write a few things in the comments right now. For example, some people are very carefree. They don't really worry about things. Carefree, we also say happy-go-lucky. These are adjectives. And carefree or happy-go-lucky both mean that you don't let stress really bother you. You're just okay with it. My stepdad is very good about this. He's always been very happy-go-lucky. He doesn't let things stress him out. He just doesn't really get stressed out that easily, which is amazing. I get stressed out. I definitely do. I wish I could be more carefree, more happy-go-lucky. But it's not always easy. It's easier said than done. But yeah, I definitely would like to be more happy-go-lucky. So there's some little adjectives you can use to describe people who are not stressed. They're carefree or happy-go-lucky. Che Sonwa said, "I heard that moderate stress has a good effect on us." It's interesting that you mention this because I recently saw a TED Talk video about this exact topic, that moderate stress can have a good effect on you. But I think that the speaker said that when you're stressed, you need to, even though you're stressed, think positively. That, again, our reaction to it can affect our health. So if we react negatively to moderate stress, it can make us more unhealthy. But if we react positively to moderate stress, it can actually be good for us. That's what the TED Talk said, at least. Okay, so here's some things about the most stressful time of your life. HJ said, "When I got my driver's license." Yeah, that can definitely be stressful. Any big thing like that, driving on the road is quite stressful. I'm too stressed to drive. I used to be able to drive, but I had a pretty traumatic car accident, and I can't really drive anymore. I get I have panic attacks if I try. Let's see, Unju Shin says, "I am happy-go-lucky because I don't think stress is that bad." Maybe a little bit bad. Oh, that's great. I wish I could be that way. I really wish I could. I get stressed too much. Okay, so let's look at some phrases. So we can say stressed out over or stressed out about. And this shows that the subject feels stress about something. For example, I'm really stressed out over my new job, or I'm really stressed out about my new job. Stressed out over, stressed out about, same thing. It doesn't matter if you use over or about. Probably about is more common, but both are completely fine. So if you can write a sentence in the live chat using stressed out over or stressed out about. Let me see a sentence from you, and I'll fix any grammar mistakes I see. Let's see, Myung-Suk Kim says, "I think some stress makes us a good chance to improve." Okay, so some stress gives us a good chance to improve. I agree. I think some stress, definitely some, not all. Sometimes we get stressed about things we don't need to be stressed about, because the way I see it is stress helps nothing usually, because usually we stress about things that we can't fix or we can't change, and that's just useless stress. But I'm guilty of that as well. So let's see, any sentences with stressed out over or stressed out about? I'm waiting for some comments. Let's see. Okay, Lee Chulbul says, "I'm really stressed about my bad or poor cooking." Good sentence. I'm sorry that you're stressed out about your poor cooking. I had a challenge with my wife this morning. We both cooked pancakes. I cooked my pancakes, she cooked her pancakes, and then we let the children taste which were better, and sadly, I lost. I'm quite proud of my breakfast cooking, but my wife is a better cook than I am. So yes, that I wasn't stressed about that, but I did want to win. Oh, by the way, Li Chubul, you can say I'm stressed about. You don't have to stressed out about. You were right. You can say stressed about or stressed over. The out is optional, so you don't actually need it. You were right before. It's okay. I should have said that. The out is optional. Okay, I'll keep looking at these comments, but let's move on to the next phrase. Stressful. So this is an adjective that shows that the subject is stressful, causes stress. So my new job is really stressful, maybe. Or you can say that working from home is stressful. Or you can use it before the noun. You can say, I had a stressful day yesterday. Or I had a stressful morning. Or that was a stressful meeting. So stressful is just the adjective of stressed. Anyone want to show me a sentence with stressful? I know these are boring at first, stressed out about or stressed out over or stressful. We're going to get into the more interesting, more colloquial stress phrases in just a moment. I just want to do these first to make sure we're all on the same page. Okay, not so many comments coming too quickly. That's good. English homework is really stressful. Yes, it is. It can be very stressful. Sometimes conversations in my house are stressful because we're trying to listen to two different languages. Like I'm trying to listen to my mother-in-law speak Korean, and I'm trying to listen to my daughter speak English at the same time. And both languages hitting my ears at the same time is a little bit stressful. Youngsoo Kim says, my job is not stressful. It's fun. I'm lucky. Yuju Kim says, too many video meetings are so stressful these days. Yeah, they can be quite stressful. I'm lucky I don't have video meetings. I just have these YouTube video classes. Okay, next one is a little bit fun. Wound up about or wound up over. So this shows that you are stressed about something, similar to the spring inside of a watch being too tight. So you need to understand that when you have a watch, an old watch that didn't use a battery, the way that you tightened it or the way that you made it work was you wound it. You wind it up to make the spring inside tighter and tighter and tighter. So when we say that I'm wound up, you can imagine that you're like a clock and the spring inside of you is getting tighter and tighter and about to explode. So wound up is like a spring inside of you being too tight and about to explode. So you can say, I'm really wound up over this test tomorrow. I'm really worried about it. I'm wound up about the meeting tomorrow. In British English, it's common to use this as a verb. You can say that he winds me up, or she really winds me up. And that means makes me angry or makes me stressed. This is more common in UK English rather than American English, but you should be aware of it, that you can use it as a verb as well to say that, oh, he winds me up. He's really winding me up today. Like making me tight or stressed inside. Good. Let's see. Phrygia says, me too, my food makes my husband mad. Are you saying that your food is so bad that it makes your husband mad? That's kind of sad. My wife cooks well, but even when my wife makes a bad meal, I still say it's delicious because she worked hard on it. But we both try to cook a lot. I really enjoy cooking when we have time. Let's see. Park Angel says, I got stressed about looking at money coming in and going out quickly. Definitely. That can make anybody stressed. I like saving money. I don't like spending money because I don't like seeing my money go down. Yeah, so seeing all that money go out so quickly is depressing. Okay, any sentences with wound up? I'll be looking for those in the comments in just a minute. Leave some sentences with wound up. The next phrase is very similar, but it's opposite. Unwind. So just like wind up means to get tight and stressed, unwind means to be relaxed and to let your stress out. So this is to relax especially after a stressful time. So you could say that last night I unwound by watching movies all night, or I like to unwind with a glass of wine. That's pretty common. I like to unwind with a glass of wine. It's just the way that you become unstressed. These are common phrases that we use to unwind. So just remember that the next time you're feeling stressed. I think that maybe I'm wrong here, but many Koreans before coronavirus like to unwind by drinking soju with their friends and singing crazily at noraebang. These are ways that we like to unwind in Korea. But how do you like to unwind? I want to hear that in the comments. How do you like to unwind? Because for me, I unwind by watching something on my computer late at night when the kids are asleep, usually drinking a glass of whiskey. That's how I like to unwind. Let's see, Myung-soo Kim says, I am really wound up over someone's bad talking. So if someone says something bad to you, you get really wound up and stressed. I understand that, yeah. And perfect English, by the way. I'm not fixing anything because there's nothing to fix in your grammar. Last night, I unwound by drinking red wine and listening to music. Another perfect sentence. Awesome. That's a great way to unwind. Excellent, excellent. Anyone else want to leave some sentences with the words or phrases, and I will read them and try to fix any grammar mistakes I see, but I'm not seeing any grammar mistakes right now. That's awesome. Okay, the next phrase is overworked. So this is when I have a mistake in my slideshow. To work, it should be to T-O, not T-O-O. So this means to work so much that it makes you stressed. So you work too much or overwork. And if you're a student and you have too many classes right now and too much homework due, you might feel overworked. For me, when I have to grade homework, I feel overworked because what you might not know about my classes is that in some of my classes, I have almost 300 students. So when I need to grade homework for a class with 300 students, it takes me a long time. It's a little stressful. I feel overworked during those times. So my example sentence here was, I'm so overworked nowadays, I'm working 70 hours a week. Back when I had that job in Korea years and years ago at the Prep Academy, and I was working maybe, close to 70 hours a week, I definitely felt overworked. Let's see. Let me look at some of the comments. I have to go back. Park Angel says, I unwind by going to pretty cafes. You need that T-O. I unwind by going to pretty cafes. That's nice. And Tae Sunwa said, yesterday I unwound by drinking beer with... I unwound. Sorry, Tae Sunwa. Yesterday I unwound. You need that un. I unwound by drinking beer with my husband at home. Good. HJ says, I unwound by listening to music when I got stressed. Is it okay? If it's past tense, HJ, if you don't do it anymore, that's okay. Because past tense means it's finished. If it's something you still do now, if you commonly do it now, you need to make it simple present. So you could say, I unwind by listening to music when I get stressed. So simple present. I unwind by listening to music when I get stressed. And that's okay. Richubu says, I like to unwind by drinking chocolate milk or eating perfect brownies. Nice. What makes a brownie perfect? I'm curious. I like brownies, but I don't know if I've ever tasted a perfect brownie. But you obviously enjoy chocolate. I am not going to try to pronounce your full name. Oh my goodness, I'm not sure I can. Putri Amiratussuleka? Am I even close? I'm trying. I'm so stressed when I was thinking no one takes care of my mother at home because I'm here. Okay, let me fix that grammar a tiny bit. I'm so stressed when I think no one takes care of my mother. Let me see. I'm so stressed when I think no one takes care of my mother Yeah, the rest is okay. Okay, good, 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 good. And Unju Shin says overwork, overbook, overrun, oversupply, overflow. Yeah, those are all words using over. To book too much. Overbook means that, for example, an airplane, they booked too many seats and now someone can't go on the airplane because it's too full. Overrun means there's too much stuff or too many people in a place. Oversupply means they have too many supplies. Overflow means that the flow is too strong. Myung-soo Kim says, I'm so overworked nowadays. I am working all day. Maybe I'm working all day. I'm working all day cyber uni study. I'm studying all day for cyber uni is better. And a perfect brownie contains Nutella chocolate jam. I have never heard of cooking brownies with Nutella. Now I'm going to have to try that. That sounds amazing. Okay, let's go to the next phrase. Under a lot of pressure. So this shows that you have many things to do, so you are feeling stressed to finish everything. And you can see in the picture that my red pencil was under too much pressure. It was being pushed too hard, and the pencil broke. So you're under a lot of pressure, you feel like you're going to break. So my example sentence is, I'm under a lot of pressure to finish this presentation for my boss. Yeah, so under a lot of pressure means that someone's telling you to do it perfectly, or you really need to work hard, or you have too much to do and you're under a lot of pressure. So if you can give me a sentence with under a lot of pressure, and I'll look at that. Okay, I'll look at the comments in just a minute, but I'm going to keep moving because we're already halfway done with class and I haven't even gotten to the articles yet. So we need to go a little bit faster. Get on my nerves. Okay, this is one that I think parents use quite often. So this shows that another person or thing makes you feel stressed or frustrated. So to get on my nerves means that something is making me feel stressed or frustrated. My example sentence is, Joe really gets on my nerves. He never stops talking. And this is a colloquial phrase. This is how people, I would say Americans, native English-speaking Americans actually talk. These are the kind of things that we say. Instead of saying, oh, he really makes me stressed, it would be more natural to say, oh, he really gets on my nerves. So what gets on your nerves? What makes you really stressed? Maybe, I'll tell you what really gets on my nerves. And this happens in every country I've ever lived in. Is when I'm shopping at the supermarket and I have my trolley, I have my cart, and I'm going through the aisles, trying to go around the supermarket up and down the aisles. But there's somebody in the middle of the aisle just standing there with their cart blocking everything, not paying attention, and I can't get around them. And they don't see me, or they're not aware of me, and they're just blocking the whole aisle. And I have to say, excuse me, can you move? And then they look at me like, pfft. And they finally move, and they make me feel like I'm the bad guy. But yeah, that really gets on my nerves when people aren't aware of their space. Let's see. Hyeri Kim says, I'm under a lot of pressure to finish assignments and quizzes for cuffs. Good, except quizzes has two Z's. Unju Shin says, my mom got on her nerves. This should be, I got on my mom's nerves because I spilled the milk. There we go. I got on my mom's nerves because I spilled the milk is better. Good. Okay, next phrase, but I'll still keep looking for comments in the live chat. To have a lot on one's plate. Have a lot on my plate. Just like before, the under a lot of pressure, this shows that you have many things to do, so you're feeling stressed. So my example is, I can't go to the party tonight. I have a lot on my plate. This does not mean food. That would be nice if you have a lot of food on your plate. This means that you have too many things to do, and usually that's causing you stress. So to have a lot on your plate means to have too many things to do, so you feel stressed. Let's see, Che Sunhwa in the live chat says, one of my students gets on my nerves. He rarely does his homework. I'm an English teacher. Yeah, when students don't do their homework and you're really just trying to help them, it can get on your nerves, definitely. So again, that's one of my students. Young-Suk Kim says, Sue really gets on my nerves. It takes a long time to sort out. You need that there, that A. Sue really gets on my nerves. It takes a long time to sort out. Good. Park Angel in the live chat says, I'm under a lot of pressure to keep checking my students' body temperature and asking them to put on masks before entering the class. Good. Very good. You don't need that comma at the end, but perfect. The grammar's perfect. Yeah, I can't imagine how difficult it is to be a teacher in a public school right now. If the public school is open already and you have students coming to your school, it must be incredibly stressful to tell young kids to, keep your mask on, to check their temperature, wash your hands, because kids don't want to do that stuff. Kids don't take it seriously. So, oh man, I can't imagine how much stress you must be dealing with right now. Let's see. Myung-Soo Kim says, I can't do Bible study this term. I have a lot on my plate. So yeah, you have too much to do, so you can't do the things you want to do. That can definitely cause stress. Our next phrase is at my wit's end. At my wit's end. This shows that you are super stressed. It means that you are about to break. You are about to crack under all of the pressure. You are showing that you are unbelievably stressed, and if one more stressful thing happens to you, you might break. So my example sentence is, my friend is at his wit's ends, or sorry, that's wit's end, not, there shouldn't be an S there. At my wit's end because of his boss. So thankfully, I haven't been at my wit's end for a long time, but definitely when I had that job, wow, that was a long time ago, 12 years ago. I'm showing my age here. When I had that job 12 years ago, I was definitely at my wit's end. I couldn't handle it anymore, and I eventually had to quit. I could not deal with it any longer. Let's see. Ho Yong-tae says, stress is a matter of how your mind accepts the present situation. Yes, I think you're talking about the quotation we did earlier. That stress is a matter of how your mind accepts the present situation. Yeah, that's exactly what that quotation earlier meant. Then Ju Shin says, my class has 11-year-old students, and they are really scared of COVID-19. They always wear masks and only take it off when eating. That's great. You have some great, wow, 11-year-olds. They're very mature. That's great. I think their parents are probably making them very scared of COVID-19. I know I'm making my kids too scared of it. Mi-kyung Kim says, I've been having a lot on my plate after enrolling at Cuffs, but it makes me more energetic in some ways. I've been have a lot. I think it would be better to say I've had a lot. I've had a lot on my plate is better. I've had a lot on my plate. Okay, next phrase is tearing my hair out over. So this is an expression that shows that you're very stressed, and you're so stressed, like in the picture, you're actually tearing your hair out because you're so stressed. So my father is tearing his hair out over his credit card debt. So yeah, what makes you tear your hair out? It doesn't have to be literal. You're not really tearing your hair out. Sometimes you are. But what makes you really stressed? And makes you tear your hair out? Let's see. Myung-Soo Kim says, I am at wit's end. You have to say at my wit's end. I am at my wit's end because of COVID-19. So I am at my wit's end over COVID-19. I am at my wit's end over COVID-19. Yeah, I think a lot of us are. We're all ready for it to be over, for it to be finished, but we have a long way to go. The winter is not going to be an easy one. If anyone has seen Game of Thrones, winter is coming, and it's not going to be a good winter. Let's see. Now we can finally move on to the articles. A, an, and the. Now, I have had students I would say every semester that I have been a teacher or professor or what have you, an instructor for a class, I've always had students ask me about a, and especially the. Now, and un are a little bit simpler. They're still quite complicated. We need to use and un for third person singular nouns. Third person means not I is first person, you is second person. Third person means something else, like cat, dog, he, she. Well, not he, she, those are pronouns, but third person means not me, not you. Or un can be used for singular. Basically, it's really just singular. We need singular things, but that's not so easy in English because it's hard to know, is it countable or is it uncountable? For example, one of the complicated things in English is sometimes it's countable. Water. Water is not countable. You shouldn't say water, except when you're at a restaurant ordering food. You can, instead of saying I want a cup of water, you can say I want a water. You can say a water, but that's only when you're ordering food. So English is terribly confusing because there's always an exception. Yewe. There's always an exception to the rule. But typically with or un, you use it for singular items. Now we're going to look at this more in depth in a minute, but when do we use and when do we use un? Most people think it's only for spelling, that if the word begins with a vowel, A, E, I, O, U, then we need to use un. But that's not true. The spelling is not important. It's the pronunciation, the sound. For example, the word hour, like time, 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours. H-O-U-R-S or H-O-U-R starts with an H, H. But the sound of the word sounds like it begins with a vowel sound, ow, ow, ow. So actually, we would say hour, not a hour, even though hour begins with a consonant. Same with, or opposite, university. University starts with a vowel. It begins with U. But when we say university, it sounds like it begins with Y, that yeah sound, university, as opposed to umbrella. Umbrella also starts with a U. But it sounds like a U. It sounds like a vowel. So for umbrella, we would say umbrella. But for university, we would say a university, not university. So the sound, not the spelling, is more important. That brings us to the or the. Now, something I'm not going to talk about is when should I use the? When should I use the? When should I use a? When should I use un? Yeah, there are rules that you can follow that you should use a for this example or a for this example, the or the. It doesn't really matter. Really, it doesn't really matter. Don't worry about that. It's more important to use a, and the correctly, just grammatically rather than pronunciation. The is one of the most difficult things to teach in English because there are literally hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of rules about the. I think it is, even if you've studied English for 20 or 30 years, if it's not your first language, you will still make mistakes with the because there are just so many rules to remember. I'll give you some examples. We use the in front of ocean names, like the Pacific Ocean, the Atlantic Ocean. We do not use the in front of lake names, like Lake Huron or Lake Superior. We use the in front of river names, the Han River, the Mississippi River. You can also delete river and just say the Han, the Nile, the Mississippi to refer to a river. I'm going to go through these fast because there's so many crazy rules. There's so many. You can use the to talk about a group of islands, like the Hawaiian Islands, the Virgin Islands, the, I don't know, Indonesian Islands. But you don't use the when you talk about a singular island, like, what would be a single item? Jeju Island, one island. We don't say the Jeju Island, just Jeju Island. Similarly, for mountains, we use the when we're referring to a group of mountains, like the Himalayan mountains, the Appalachian mountains. We do not use the when we refer to a singular mountain. Mount Everest, we don't say the Mount Everest. Mount Fuji, we don't say the Mount Fuji. There are just so many of these rules. It just gets so crazy to talk about the. And there are too many to even touch on even a few of them. Those are just some geographical these that you can look at. And there are more, like countries. Countries are so confusing. The rule to remember about whether to use the for a country, and this is not an easy rule to remember, is if the country has more than 2 words in its name, and one of those words is not a direction, like north, south, east, west, you probably, not always, you probably need the. For example, South Korea. South, it's a direction. We don't use the. Korea, don't use the. It's only one word. But Republic of Korea, we use the Republic of Korea. England, one word, don't use the. UK, the United Kingdom, yes, we need the United Kingdom. It's 2 words, no directions, no north, south, east, or west. The United Kingdom. America doesn't need the. The United States of America needs the. It's just there are so many rules about the. So let's look at a few of these in our PowerPoint. What happened there? Here's some examples, just some quick examples of an and the. So I saw a cat at the park. Cat is singular. But you might notice that I have the in front of park. Well, that's another rule about the, is if you're talking about a common place that is found in most cities or towns, you use the in front of it. For example, you could say, I went to the bank. Even though it's not a specific bank, even though you don't know if I'm talking about Shinhan Bank or Hana Bank or Uri Bank, you don't know, it doesn't matter. A bank is a common public place found in a town, and thus I can use the. I went to the park, I went to the bank, I went to the post office, I shopped at the market, I went to the convenience store. But the, again, I can't touch on all the rules of the. There are just far too many. Some more sentences with a. She met a friend for lunch. I saw a great movie last night. Let's look at un. I saw an umbrella on the bus, or I saw an umbrella. My friend read an article in the newspaper. My mom lost an earring at the party. And the. I saw a cat at the park. The cat was black. This is a common rule that most people learn when they study the, is if the noun has been mentioned before, the second time it's mentioned, we use the. So in the first sentence, we say, I saw a cat. But in the second sentence, we say the cat, because it's now a specific cat. 8, remember the restaurant we ate at yesterday? Because the speaker and the listener both understand the specific restaurant, we use the. And please close the door. We would use the here because there is only one door in the room. If there's only one open door, you would say the door. If there were 2 or 3 open doors and I only wanted you to close one of them, I would say please close a door because it's not specific. Okay, before I keep going, let me look at some of the comments here because I think I've fallen behind. Sungyeon O says, I'm tearing my hair out over my children singing all day long. That sounds cute. Why are you tearing your hair out about that? Let's see. Richibu says, a bottle of water. That is a great example of a rule that most people forget about. If you have the grammar structure noun of noun, you need the. So for example, the or you need or the. For example, the bottle of water or a bottle of water. Let's see. Unju Shin says sound. I'm not sure what that's referring to. MP3 player, MP3 uniform, un-ant. Oh, un-MP3 player. Yeah, there's a good one. Un-MP3 player. MP3 starts with the consonant, but it sounds like a vowel. E-M, M. Uniform is another one that we would use. Uniform, because yes, it starts with a U, but it sounds like a Y sound. HJ says un-ant, good, and Park Hyojung says a university. Yes, that's right, a university. Lee Chublu says an hour, a university, an umbrella, not UN, but an umbrella, an umbrella. Mi Kyung Kim says, yes, so confusing. Yeah, it's incredibly confusing. I went through some of them very quickly just to show you how incredibly confusing it is, and don't make yourself feel bad if you don't know all of the rules, because it's so difficult to learn. Don't make yourself feel bad. The Han River or Jeju Island, the UK. Good. Let's see, close the door. How about moon or sun? HJ says, yeah, we would say the moon, the sun, because they are specific. There are many moons in the universe. There are many moons. Other planets have moons, but our moon is specific. It's the moon. It's our moon. Our sun, of course, every solar system has a sun or multiple suns, but for our solar system, for our Earth, we only have one sun. Because there's only one, it's the. Same for Earth. We live on one Earth, the Earth, because it's specific. There's only one. That's another the rule. If there's only one in existence, we say the. For example, there is only one internet. I mean, like worldwide internet that we are using right now for YouTube. I know that the internet doesn't work that easily, that there's servers and computers, but there's one idea of the internet. And because there's only one internet, we must use the. Let's see. The CEO. Yeah, if your company only has one CEO, which it should, the CEO. The Earth has only one moon, but Mars is not the Mars, right? You're right. It's not the Mars. It's the name. The confusing thing is that Earth doesn't mean just the name of the planet. It means the ground that we're on. So Earth is unique. Yeah, other planets you can't say the Mars, the Venus, the Jupiter. But for us, for Earth, our Earth, we can say the Earth. That's a good point. Like I said, the always has these terribly confusing exceptions to the rule. Park Angel says the lead actor. Very good. There's only one lead actor, so the lead actor. Richubu says the space. No. Again, another exception. I know that there's only one, like the internet, there's only one idea of the internet. But space, yes, it's an exception to the rule. Yeah, wait, it's an exception. There's only one idea of space, but we don't say the space. It's just space. Yeah, like I said, the is so incredibly confusing. I've never even thought of that exception, space instead of the space. Yuna Sonet says the Earth, but not Mars. Yeah, just Mars, not the Mars. Yeah, there's just so many exceptions. It just gets so crazy confusing. Yeah, I could teach a whole class on the, and we still wouldn't cover every rule about the. Even if we studied just the for 16 weeks for one semester, we still wouldn't hit every single rule. There's just too many rules and too many exceptions. The king, yeah, if there's only one king, it would be the king, the queen, the president, the White House, the Blue House in Korea. There's only one, so it's the Blue House. Now, if you look back here at my my PowerPoint, I have more. I'm going to briefly scroll through this so you can see. But please, if you look in the description of this video, there's a link where you can download this PowerPoint and you can look at it yourself. I've run out of time. I spent too much time earlier. I didn't budget my time very well. But I'm going to scroll through and show you that you can look at these sentences that have mistakes, and I've corrected it so you can kind of test yourself. Here's some sentences with and some of them have mistakes that you can go back and fix. You can look at these 10 sentences, and some of the sentences have mistakes, and you can go through and fix them. I have just more and more slides that you can look through. But sadly, we have run out of time. So I can't go through all those. I don't have time anymore. I have to log off so that Professor Brandon Nolan can log in and start his class. That's the difficulty with being in different locations but sharing the same YouTube account. There needs to be a 2 or 3 minute gap between our videos. So yeah, please, if you want to do a little bit of practice that I've already prepared, download that PowerPoint. It's in the description. Like I mentioned at the beginning of this video, if you're a CUFS student, please contact the English department if you want to sign up for Phone English, and it will give you a good opportunity to talk to one of us on the phone twice over 2 weeks about different topics. Good way to practice your speaking and listening. That's it for me today. Please have a great Chuseok. Stay safe and stay healthy.